Yes. Yeah, I don't know if I want to use Gaz for literally everything. I just like... Not yet, at least. I do not feel like it yet. Definitely no. No, I don't think so. Yeah. Anyways, today, Perry. I think there needs to be a price to blocking, by the way. Maybe eats up your stamina. Dude, how is this guy not dead, man? Haven't made a game yet? No, no. Still figuring it out. Still trying to figure it out. Horde thingy? Kind of, yes. Yes, kind of. I think when we're doing like a really down attack, I think we're probably going to want like a different animation for it, I think. Yeah. So we almost... So here's the thing. Our current system works because both of our attack animations go horizontally, and then I just modify the rotation. Yeah, I don't know what we would do there. I don't know, guys. Yeah. But I don't want to touch that right now because I really don't think working on that is going to make the game better. I think ultimately we're missing the other part of the video game. As much as I would like to work on that because I think it'd be a cool element to work on, I don't think it would actually solve our current problems with the game right now. You know what I mean? Even though it is something I would love to continue working on, is like adding in different weapons / directions and stuff like that. I just don't think that would... I don't know if that's a solution at all, so... Yeah. Vermintide had a recharging stamina blip system for blocking. Heavier hits costed more blips than others. He got staggered or something. Punched the last one. That's probably what I'll do. I'll probably do like strong attacks and stuff. And I'll probably even do like unblockable attacks as well. I think that would be the ideal system. I think that's something Sifu has as well. So that would probably be the direction we would go in for the blocking. But let's go on ahead and incorporate the beginnings of our parry. Yeah. The beginnings of a parry. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can luckily use elapsed seconds to determine when. Actually, can you read elapsed seconds without setting this to a variable? Like when you read this event, is there a way for me to read? I wonder if there's a way for me to read this input action's elapsed seconds without having to create a variable from it, and instead I could just read from it. Is that possible? Let's search up elapsed seconds. Right? If I search up elapsed Can we see if there's... No. Unfortunately not. I have to turn this into an event. I have to turn this into a variable, not an event, sorry. Yeah, well. All right. Block holds time. So this will be the amount of time that you've held it, and triggered, I believe, is what we want. Because we want to set that value constantly. Yep, that's on tick. Very good. Very good. Okay, so that should set the value. Now we can determine the... We can basically determine if you parried by checking how long you held the block button for. Schedule 1, eh? Damn. Banger soundtrack. Where the fuck I am? Oh, taking damage. So on top of checking if you were blocking, we also want to then check, was it a parry? So we'll check the block hold time, and we'll check that it was less than... I don't know, what's a typical parry window time frame, chat? What do you think? 0.2 is what I'm leaning towards, but like that's 1/5 of a second. You guys think that's enough time to parry an attack, or is that like too long, too short? What's the name of my new game that I'm working on? I had a name for it, but I think it is probably not copyright safe. So right now it's to be decided. Yeah. I'm thinking we'll do, let's try 0.2 and see if that's good enough. If it's less than, or actually we should do less than or equal to, otherwise that would be 0.19. Crimson Tower. No, that just doesn't flow. You know, God Tower would have been sick, but because of Tower of God, I just don't think that I just don't think that is her. Is it different from the other game that you put out? I'd say yes, it's different. It's still like an action game. Very combat focused, but I would say it's very different. If I don't hear the sound, I think that means it resulted in a parry. So let's go ahead and actually make Pizza Tower. It's not, we're not calling it Pizza Tower, chat. Parry block metal? No. Block metal 3. When do I plan on releasing this? I do not have a release timeline yet. I just have a timeline in terms of our first playtest, in terms of getting people to try it out and see what they say, see how they feel about it and whatnot, get a feel for it. Is it a fighting game? It's like an action fantasy game. Wait, we have play sound at location? Oh. I am actually going to have to read some of those values. So Source is type actor. Actor class reference. Yeah. I don't really have a release. Ideally within the next year if we can. Is this going to be a smaller project than Suit for Hire? I don't really know. It'll hopefully take less time. Suit for Hire took like 5 years. It took way too much time. But that being said, I also had to do contract work. I had to do various things. I was kind of procrastinating a lot of times. It is an issue of mine as well, because there was like so many new skills I had to learn, and whenever I have to learn a new skill, it takes me a lot for me to build the confidence to just get into it sometimes and to just get started. So that can be a problem of mine. Dude, 0.2 seconds might be a bit too fast. There we go. That's a parry. Am I still not doing contract work? I am not doing contract work anymore. I am full-time on my own stuff. My own stuff. Okay, 0.2 seconds might be a bit too fast. Let's try 0.25. Unless this value, let's watch it. Hold on. It's possible this number is not being reset. No, it is. We have to change the AI. Yeah, we have to make it so the AI doesn't like attack us the way they do. So I totally get it, PC Gamer. There's a lot of games these days. And I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully you don't run across any issues or anything like that. Is there a way you could just copy the data you have for the counter timing in Suit but it has a parry? Or is it because you're trying a different coding? It's kind of different but the same. But a lot of this code is very similar. A lot of this is very similar to Suit for Hire's way that we'll be doing like the parry and whatnot. We're checking if you're aiming at the... It's just like the AI is very like, you know, we have to work on their attacks. But something doesn't feel right. Yeah. That's counting as a parry. Wait, hold on a second. Oh. False. Okay. That entire time I was successfully parrying. Of course. That entire time I was actually a god gamer. I'm just a stupid coder. God gamer, but stupid game dev. Of course. Classic. Yes, classic. Alright, there we go. Now we have the right system. True equals successful parry. There we go. You got a trip. There we go. So, what would we want to do if you counter an attack? Dude, I don't know why this guy's... The spider is stupid. Someone get this damn spider a chill pill. He just keeps jumping around. Okay, now that's properly set up. So when we block, we want to take some stamina. Our stamina system, I think, is still kind of stupid, though. So let me... Okay, hold on. How do we... We should rename remaining dashes to stamina. Minus minus stamina, set dash bar value. Yeah, we should have a system that we should have a function to remove stamina, because right now what we're doing is we're manually doing it, and I don't want to have to keep copy pasting all of this code. So let's fix that. Replenish dashes. So we're going to rename this to regen stamina. All right. Am I happy to be fully on my own games? Oh, by the way, thank you, Goblet. By the way, I completely glossed over your message. Am I happy to be fully on my own games? I think it is definitely a privilege in this day and age where things are really like challenging, right? And you hear so many stories about people really trying their best to get into the space to go full time and kind of do their own things. Almost kind of entrepreneurial. I don't like calling myself an entrepreneur. I'm going to be honest. I actually hate the fucking term a lot, but I think there's a level of privilege to be able to do what I'm doing, especially in this day and age where it's so tough for people to find jobs and work and whatnot. So I would say, yeah, I'm definitely, I'm really glad that I can do what I'm doing. There is something special there that I cannot take for granted. For sure. I guess it's just how do we keep it going? Without me, like, I could keep working on Suit for Hire, and maybe it could get even more, you know, successful or whatever from a financial standpoint. I kind of just want to move on, though. Move on to the next chapter, even though it might be probably the riskier thing to do, all things considered. Okay. So we have a regen stamina. Let's put this in a category, stamina. These are all probably things I will convert to C++ at some point, not because it performs better. Don't get it twisted. Not because it performs better, but because it would be a good step for me to learn more C++. Yeah, Gaz would probably be a good one here. And either way, we probably would want to use Gaz for this because that would be a part of our attribute set. I'll probably do that in the future, for sure. I just don't want to bog down the development right now by implementing Gaz just yet, because it is going to slow down the prototyping stage a lot. Yeah. We don't care about performance here. I do! Switching the project over to DX11 has already been like a huge like FPS booster. Simplifying that stuff a little bit there. We have so many variables, man. So many variables. It's ridiculous. So many variables. It's getting a little out of hand. I think a lot of these booleans we're going to start turning into gameplay tags pretty soon. But yeah. Yeah, I am very happy. I just had there's one thing that I'm not happy with is I feel like I'm not investing enough time into it. But at the same time, I have to be honest with myself. If I get enough done in a day, it doesn't matter how much time was invested. It's just a matter of how much value did I put into the day. I think that's the thing I'm more concerned about, and I feel like I'm not putting enough value in every day, especially considering that we have 21 days on the block, on the clock. So there's just a lot more responsibility. 8 a.m. streams, let's go. Do you guys remember when I did like a few streams that were like super early? I don't know if I could do those again, man. I wouldn't mind it. Like starting at like 10 a.m. Or my original starting time, which I think used to be 11 a.m. Okay. We got a regen stamina. Let's go ahead and make a drain stamina. Actually, drain is probably not the best word for this because drain would imply that it's like draining over time. What would be a word here? Reduce stamina? Ah, whatever. We'll just drain stamina. Fuck it. Ah, well, fuck it. Okay, so yeah, deplete might be a good word. Yeah, whatever. We could always rename it. So this is actually not dash replenish speed now. This is stamina replenish speed. And then let's just, for sake of continuity, let's call it regen, because we have regen as our terminology now. And then additionally, replenish dashes. Oh shit. All of these function names, I believe this is supposed to be regen stamina. So, okay, that I think is one really big downside of renaming any of your stuff. Timers are hard-coded, technically. And not very good, actually. It's actually pretty bad for us because we have to rename all of it now. Luckily, I think that's about it. Let's just double check. Okay, we apparently have a few more places. Also, this entire system is going to have to be changed up because our original system ran off of, we had 3 bars of stamina. Now we're running off of like 0 to 100% stamina. So this is not going to cut it. We're going to have to change all of that stuff. That's okay. Those, you know, better than nothing. Okay, so here we'll go ahead. Let's cut it. And we don't want to use minus minus anymore. So we're going to do minus. Ideally, we probably want to clamp this. but let's get started with this. Set stamina. Do we have a max stamina? We do not. Balls. That would probably be something we'd want. I just don't know if we want it as a variable. Whatever. For now, let's just clamp it 0 to... Actually, what's the node to make sure like it stays above 0? Is it max? It's either this or this. I always get confused with min and max, man. I always get confused. Returns the maximum value of A and B. I think it's this. Pretty sure it's max. I always get it mixed up. So I think that's what we want. I think is max is the one. We'll set the stamina, and then if the timer does not exist, then we'll start regenning the stamina. Okay, so in here, we'll go ahead and hook up our new thing, an amount of 1. Look at that. Look how much we cut out right there. So we're going to drain this a bit differently. We're going to drain this differently. The stamina, we're going to set it to 100. 100 will be the new stamina value, which means this will be 33. And then we're going to want to change up everything else related to stamina. Yeah. So regen stamina, instead of plus, we're going to want to plus, I guess, 33. That's going to be our current number, even though we're going to change up this entire system. Okay. I think that's correct. Stamina is less than 3 if it's less than 100, which, okay, I know. Now we're starting to realize maybe we should make a max stamina variable, but whatever. Whatever, it don't matter. Okay. You good? No, all this code, I'm gonna fucking explode. Stamina regen time takes 2 seconds to regenerate 33. Okay, let's see if this still works. Nice. The entire bar. I think that has to do with something in the animation. Let me guess. It's the dash bar is 3 seconds long. Let's go ahead and make it 1 second long. I need to convert to my time zone. What time is it right now for you, Ari? Is it like nighttime? I'm starting to think maybe we should convert the stamina system right now, because I think trying to wedge this shit in is just not going to cut it. I just don't really know. I don't really know if there is a way to do this without event tick. Like, we're going to have to update the thing over time anyways. So I think there's no winning. This is going to have to be on event tick. Is this single player? Yeah, yeah. Almost 3 hours before midnight, so it's 9:43 p.m., I'm assuming. Play animation with finished event is legacy. Using deprecated UMG sequence player. What's the difference? Widget animation handle structure. UMG sequence player object. Oh. It's a handle. Dude, I gotta really get a grasp of this handle. No, seriously. The amount of times I'm starting to see handle now, I'm getting confused. I don't 100% understand what a handle is. Like, a handle is a ID to an actual piece of... Like, I don't get it, man. I saw a handle with... the other instance I saw a handle in was gameplay ability system when it came to... what was it in reference to? What was it in reference to? I don't remember. Events. Yes. Gameplay events. Yes. Yeah. I don't understand it. You can have references to structs in Blueprint. I guess that's why they do handles. So if I get this right, a handle is a reference to a struct. That's all it is. And the only reason why a handle is required is because we can't do it in C++. You can't do it in Blueprint. You can only do it in C++. There we are. Instance struct. Yeah, right. Which I believe... it's just so weird. You have a set members in widget animation handle, right? That is a struct ref. So I don't understand, why is it that Blueprint can't just get a reference to the struct? Come on! Bullshit. Whatever. They don't want Blueprint users to deal with dangling pointers. Just let me deal with it, man! Just let me deal with it! Alright? Don't babysit my code, motherfucker. I don't need you babysitting my code. I'll have a memory leak if I want to. Anyways, no, I was just looking at that and I was ranting. So we need to change up our entire stamina system. Yeah, Rowan. Long time no see. What are you up to? Oh, just noodling. Dangling pointers are not leaks. They would just crash the engine. Just a regular day in Unreal Engine anyway. I am considering just switching over the stamina system directly to gameplay ability system now. Possibly. Don't know yet. You know, Flick. Am I playing Arc Raiders after the stream? No, I'm probably just going to boot up Deadlock and get pissed off. And then, maybe play a bit of Ball X Pit. How much is Arc Raiders? It's like $50, I think, Canadian. Arc Raiders. It is 60 Canadian. Yeah. Yeah. I just I don't know. I love the test. It was a really fun game. I just yeah, maybe I'll pick it up. I don't know. Maybe I'll pick it up. We'll see. I don't know yet. I don't know yet, guys. I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Play with chat? You know, I don't know. I definitely don't want to. I don't know. I'm not a game streamer, chat. Listen, I ain't no pirate software, okay? I ain't no Sequisha who can just, get into the next, go from game dev to game streaming. I'm not that funny. I'm not that good at game streaming. Have I tried? I have tried. I've tried streaming games. I'm really ass at it. I actually feel like I get a slight bit of anxiety when playing games because there's moments where I don't know what to say. I'm like, quickly bring up politics. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what to do. Where the fuck I am? Hold on. Wait, what am I doing here? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Por qué stamina? Just make a fart joke. Yeah, surely that'll go well. Slam the table. What about Battlefield Red Sec? More like Red. I don't know. I try to come up with some. Man can't help but bring up economics. I'm just not very good at game streaming. It's just not like, I don't know. Everybody's like, anybody can do game streaming. And then you start doing it and you're like, wait, hold on. I heckin' suck at this. More like Battlefield Ballsack. I got you, mate. Thank you, Goblet. Thank you. Battlefield Red Sec. More like Battlefield Ballsack. Why did I call it Battlefield? I think I'm having... I feel like the regen stamina, should we regen the stamina on tick or should we do a timer for it? I wonder. This is a good question to ask. Do I do it on tick or do I do it on... Do a global restore timer. I don't know what the fuck that even means. By the way, I got laid off on Tuesday, and yesterday I had my surgery, which was successful without issues. Wait, hold on. You got laid off and had your surgery? But at least it was successful. Hey, good shit on that. Hell yeah, y'all. Hopefully you have a good recovery and everything. Well, wait, you got laid off? Oh, wait, y'all, you were working at Amazon, weren't you? I just remembered. Holy fuck, man. I watch a lot of gameplay only streamers who hardly talk. I think the thing is, though, when you reach a certain level of establishment as a streamer, you can start doing things like that. Amazon killed their game division. Like, castrated the entire fucking thing. AI takes another victim. I think this is on a different level. Like, I think this is more like they're just not gonna do games anymore. I think this is on a case of I think this is a case of like They're just not making video games anymore, especially considering they wanted to compete with Steam. And it's like, Steam was like, who the fuck are you? I don't even know you. Like, I don't even fucking know you. Competing? Brother, you weren't even there. They're getting out of games and just going to put out junk stuff like the Snoop Dogg game they just put out entirely with contractors. The world is a funny place, is it not? Don't you guys think? The world is kind of a funny place these days. Hire him? I don't think I would be able to afford y'all. I'm going to be honest. I can't even afford myself. They're going to focus on casual AI-driven games? You mean slop? Like actual genuine slop. Teletubbies fucking purple pink slop. That's fucking crazy. I hope they fail. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's you know, no one should ever hope that someone fails, but it's a corporation, so it's whatever. Listen, if they fail, no harm done, right? Because there's no one employed, because it's AI driven, right? Watch the trailer. I'm okay, man. I'll just take your word for it. Hot take on an Amazon platform. If, for example, in a game, when make a timer that executes the dispatch on the dispatch, you can regen your stamina, but also stuff in future. The thing is, I don't know if a dispatcher is actually the best plan of action here. Like, the stamina is going to be constantly running up. What is the best way of regenerating the stamina? Like, in a gameplay ability system, if it creates an object for a regen, that's just creating an object that's probably going to do it on tick, right? Like, how does gameplay ability system regenerate a value? You know what I think they do? Here's what I think they do. They set a game time stamp. And then the next time you try to use stamina, it compares to the previous game time stamp and then reads that value. I'm coming up with random ideas here. That doesn't require us. But the thing is, I think the reality of it is we're still going to have to know how to regen the stamina because the bar on the HUD, we need to read that somehow. Like how do we do the stamina bar? They hired a bunch of experienced game developers, put them in charge of their respective studios. They only hired non-games experienced people for their publishing division, which decides what the game studios make, and none of them were laid off. Hey, let's make a game studio and then hire like games people, but then like the people that lead them are like non-games people. Okay, because I just want to move forward. Regen stamina, I'm going to put it on tick. I'm going to put it on tick for now. I know I shouldn't. I'm going to put it on tick, which means... But how... Okay, hold on, actually. How do we... Regen speed needs to be multiplied by what? The delta time? How do you compensate for delta time again? Is it multiply a value by delta time and that's enough to compensate for the tick rate? Or was it divide? I don't remember. Listen, okay, let's just remove the concept of if you, hold on, 0.2 divided by one divided by FPS amount, like 60 equals delta time. But that gives us a static value. We want the actual delta time, which would be, I believe, this. So it would be value. It would be value divided by thing. So if we do 2 divided by 0.2, that gives us 10. So would we reduce our regen speed by like a huge number, I guess? These are such basic questions, but I don't usually do a regen system on tick. I think for Super Hire, we did it on a timer. Actually, I don't remember what we did. I don't remember what we did, actually. I think we ended up putting it back on tick. Multiply by delta time. Let's see this. I just want to throw this shit in a basic form because we're basically shifting the system. I think ideally we would Schedule 1 added again, man. Damn, dude. Turn it up. And I don't mean turn up. I mean turn the audio up. Turn it up. Remaining dashes, current replenish time. How is Schedule 1 doing? You know? I'm sure people are still playing the shit out of it, right? They just added a massive cartel update? Holy shit. They're still updating the game? What a fucking G. Isn't it just one dev? Pretty sure it is still one dev based on the way it's structured. Hey, hell yeah, man. What up, Mr. Situation? You don't need to spam the chat room, brother. This isn't Summit 1G's chat or Lyrics chat, you know? Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'll see your message. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Hey. The stream isn't that popular. You're fine. You're fine. You don't need to... Yeah. Don't you worry, brother. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about a thing. It's not... It's fine. I still see your message. Hope you're doing great. Thoughts on Arc Raiders? I think it's a sick-ass game. I don't know if I'll play it, though. I played the test. I don't know if I'll buy it. I want to, but I don't got the money right now, guys. I kind of do, but I don't at the same time. It's a weird situation. Don't talk to me. Regen stamina. Aren't you a billionaire now? No, I'm not. I am not a billionaire. God. He has to make his fat stacks last another 5 years until this game releases? It's just not going to take 5 years. Don't say that. Don't put that voodoo on me, motherfucker. You know, Golden. Don't put that voodoo on me, man. See you in 2030? That's not funny. Not funny. For all we know, this game could be a big fucking flunk, you know? Could be a huge, humongous flunk. Please tell me... Okay, so this... Set percent current stamina divided by 100... Okay, we'll start with this. This is getting the basics down of our new stamina system. It's regenning really, really slowly. Which means we gotta increase the regen time, which I'm thinking we'll just increase it to 20. So does that mean we're regenning 20 stamina per second? Is this math correct? World delta seconds multiplied by regen speed. Does that mean we are regenerating 20 stamina per second? Let's test it. Test it. 3. If it's 20 per second, then that means it takes 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, pretty accurate. Urgh. Set your FPS to 30. I think it is basically the same. This is me on 120. This is 30. I died. Now I have a stupid error / warnings reported fucking message on my screen. I'm gonna... Arr. Dude, spider. Okay. Okay, it's a good thing I don't have sticky keys, because I would have activated it right there. Okay, hold on! Dash, if the stamina is more than 0. What? Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, more than or equal to 33, which is our requirement for stamina. Okay, there we go. So this is just like for now, because I think ideally in the future we'll probably use a gameplay ability system to do the attributes and stuff. Do spells tie into stamina? No. Spells are just going to be cooldown, I think. There's not going to be any mana usage. I think. I don't know. Maybe some of them might use stamina. I don't know. Like, I'd love to have an ability where you can, like, grab enemies. Like, not telekinesis. Is it telekinesis? I guess it is telekinesis. Like, grabbing enemies and, like, throw them around and shit. Is that what I'm thinking about? Telekinesis? What's that called? When you're, like, moving objects around? I feel like that's not the word I'm looking for. Is it telekinesis? Okay, there's telekinesis. Oh, you're thinking of telepathy, which is reading minds. Yeah, not telepathy. Telekinesis is the one, then. I'm correct. I'm smart. Some might say I'm stupid, which I would agree with, but I am smart sometimes. Sometimes. Sometimes I actually am smart. You're mentally draining your stamina? Yeah, I suppose. Okay, so now, all of this work, just to make it so every time you block an attack, it eats up stamina. All that work just to get to this one point. Okay. Drain stamina. Amount 15. So every time we block... Only thing is as we're blocking... Yeah, we probably want to delay. I think for now, I'm going to make it so you do not regen stamina when blocking. For now, what I'm going to do, not blocking, then allow stamina regen. So we'll just say that. This is where we're getting into gas could be used better? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't know why. Every time I block, the stamina bar is not being reset. Oh. Or that would explain it. The value is being set to 0. Stupid. Yeah, I actually like it that way because it's like blocking has a price. You can't just hold your block, otherwise you like eat up your stamina. And this is just a flat value. In the future, we'd make it so like enemies have like stronger attacks. Very Oblivion of you, sir. Me accidentally recreating Oblivion, but as a roguelite in like more modernized way. I didn't mean to. Fireball. Other fireball, which is actually lightning arc. And fireball. We got to turn lightning arc into like an actual lightning ability. Right now it's just fireball 2. Am I going to make my own Niagara? The Slash Effects was using Niagara, and that was basically all of my own effects. That's why it looks like ass. No, I like it. I honestly, the Slash Effects I'm really happy with. Maybe the positioning could be a bit better. There are times where it's like the hit occurs way off the body because we're reading off of like the location of the hit. And I wouldn't mind being able to read directly from the physics body or whatever. That's it. I'm sick of you. How did I prevent the sword from clipping through the wall? Doesn't it? I'm pretty sure it clips the wall. Yeah, it's still clipping the wall. If I remember correctly, we use like an FOV thing, and the size of the body is much smaller, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the size of our body is much smaller, and our capsule is enormous. We're a big, chunky guy. Or actually, we're not actually that chunky. Wait, no, are we? I don't know. This radius does look pretty large. 55 does look pretty big. But yeah, it does clip. It does clip. Honestly, swinging feels pretty good. I could see this becoming a really cool system. Just the fact that you can like kind of aim the slice is sick. When parry system, we have the parry in. It's just on a basis of, okay, now what do we do if you successfully parry an attack? So that's parry. This is block. It plays a different sound effect. Like that. The parry has a ding sound, and it also does not eat stamina when you parry. What happened to Suit for Hire? Nothing. It's still there. It's out. I have to release the new patch though. I have to get that out. I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. Let me try disabling the debug thing on the HUD, because it might be like distracting me. I like the idea of having it, don't get me wrong. But I just think it needs to look better. Right now I'm not happy with like the look of it. It's mostly fixes and some fun stuff, like katanas can stick into enemies now. They can stick into like walls and surfaces if it hits the blade side. Sound effect changes. Some user experience stuff. Like, I don't mind the crosshair being dynamic in the sense that like it shows you when things get done. It'd be cool for the directional area to freeze during the swing. That could be a good idea. It might like look good from a visual standpoint. Am I going to keep the general art style? It looks pretty good. I think we'll still keep like the edge effect. I just don't really know. I don't really know. Like, we don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I want to toy around with some art styles, but I'm not 100% certain yet. Do I model the characters myself? These characters, I think I modeled myself. I think. I don't remember. The spider might be a marketplace set. It might be an asset. I'm pretty sure the demons I modeled myself. I don't remember. I rigged it myself. I remember that for sure. Because it's a fucking stupid rig that doesn't have a pelvis for some reason. Everything in the game right now is like placeholder. It's everything. That placeholder, it's all like so much of it is placeholder. It could literally be changed up at any moment in time. Okay, let's make the parry and the block feel good. And the enemies. We need to make the enemies feel good, because right now I think that's the missing piece of the puzzle. It looks fun. I don't think the fun is there yet. I think the fun is there for like 5 minutes as like a tech demo. I think the fun is still missing. It is still not in the house. The fun is missing currently. Add an AK-47 and fun increases to 10 minutes. That's all it takes, baby, is an AK-47. Do you think that changed with something like a spawn system, though? I don't think that would change anything currently. I think right now the missing... Like, while AI or the enemy AI is the maybe a missing piece of the fun, I don't think constantly spawning enemies would fix anything. I think we just need to make the enemies fun. So it's time to get into fuck territory. What is the... I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to picture, like, the game. What is going to be the focus, I guess? Will the fun be doing, like, duels with singular enemies? I wonder. Killing with style? Yeah? On Discord, someone was referencing Star Wars. And just the overall, like, style element of it. Like, when you're doing stuff. Like adding flair, like your fucking sword. Spinning your sword and shit. That could be, like, the focus. Is like dueling or whatnot. What that means though is that the dueling is gonna have to be like, you're gonna have to really be able to like, we're gonna have to make the enemies like a lot better from an attack standpoint, and we're gonna have to give them like a lot of different animations. One hit skill game, one hit dead player mob. Yeah, I'm not making a game like that anymore. After making Suit for Hire, I learned making a one hit game that worked really well is extremely challenging. And you end up getting a lot of people that complain about the one hit kill concept. I don't know if that's the kind of game I want to design again. It got to a point where people were asking for a health bar in like Suit for Hire. You know, I thought maybe speeding up the light attacks is a good idea. I think by speeding up the light attack, we make it a little bit harder to approach, like, getting a hit down. I know that sounds weird, but I don't know. I do think there needs to be, like, the more you slice, the slower it gets. Maybe we could try. Maybe we could try doing something a little bit like that right now. Like a fatigue, like a slight fatigue. Might land me too close to mortal sin. Could. Yeah, I don't know if I'm like going for this direction. I don't know. At least the trailer does not look like it's going in the dual direction, because it's like, it looks like you're just like absolutely eviscerating everything. I don't know. Choose to parry / block or learn the combos that enable massive damage to survive by spacing. For Mortal Sin? I see. God, the spider is like really annoying because he just keeps attacking. I don't know why. He needs to have. Let's see. Let's go to the state tree real quick. So the attack. Can we associate a cooldown? Enter condition. This goes to weight. But weight is whatever. Is there a cooldown built into state tree? It's a good example to answer the question you had earlier. Would players want to / be okay with using a sword in a roguelike? Yeah, it does become it is a very hard, like, how do we solve the problem of players constantly wanting to just use a gun? You know what I mean? How do we solve the problem? How do we make melee fun? How do I incorporate a is it a task to have a cooldown? We have a delayed task. I'm curious how we can slap a cooldown. I know there's a cooldown in in behavior tree. I wonder what the condition for a cooldown would be. We have an enter condition, but there's no cooldown here. I guess has tag, and you create a cooldown with the tag. Selection utility, constant enum input, float input. What the hell? Interesting. Is there a cooldown in state tree? What would that be? UE5 state tree cooldown. Was this the YouTuber I was watching? I don't remember if this was. Okay, so he added a condition. What was the reason to change from behavior tree to state trees? I wanted to just try it out, and then after trying it out and kind of seeing the interface and seeing how things function and whatnot, I think I'm going to prefer going in this direction. And I'm also hearing from a lot of people that have been using behavior tree and switched to state tree that they prefer using state tree for their AI functionality. So I just got really sick of behavior tree too. I feel like a lot of it is kind of like, it just feels like there's so much fucking friction 90% of the time in trying to work with it. Whereas with this, I don't know, it doesn't feel like there's that much friction with it. Hold on. So let's start from the beginning here. Cooldowns. So he's creating a variable on the character. And then he's making a condition. I was also looking at the state trees, but state trees. Things get hectic on bigger trees and hard to follow over the state chains. The thing is, behavior tree, in my opinion, also kind of suffers from the same thing. And you can use, you know, you can branch them in such a way where it's like you have one behavior tree that does something and then another behavior tree. That's what we did for Suit for Hire. But the problem is, when you put a behavior tree that runs dynamically inside of a behavior tree, that thing is like constantly ticking. And that like eats on the performance, especially when you start racking up the amount of enemies. So instead of you running off of just one behavior tree for the sake of like cleanliness and reusing behavior trees, it's just, it gets, it starts stacking up. Just so shit. So I feel like there has to be better ways of doing that with like state tree. But this is just me exploring, right? Coming of learning more about different ways of approaching AI behavior and whatnot. So okay, I see what he's doing. He's adding a timestamp, and then he's reading from reset cooldown with time. Yeah, Jay. Right, exactly, Andre. I don't think there's, you know, it's just a case of what is more comfortable for you and which one works better for the game. Okay, so he's using a condition. Interesting. Okay. Run on exit. Wait, I don't get it. Enter state. Oh, set cooldown. I feel like you should just do that from the condition. But I guess not. Okay, I guess we could do it with a condition. How would you go about doing that? Oh, when you plus in here, I guess the enter condition. Mm. Okay, so wait, what's the difference between a consideration and a condition? I don't know. I wonder if this overview of the state tree is good. Let's see. Trying to add a delay to attacks. I'm adding a cooldown to them. In behavior tree, you have like there's a built-in system for it, but in this case, we have to add something here. The thing that kind of sucks is that he added that to the character. Can we add a cooldown to the parameter here? Does an array, but it doesn't do a map. It can do an array, but it cannot do a map. Can it do a map? Let's see. Nope, it can't do a map. Shit. We need a map. Because we need to read the name. Now we could create a struct for it. You know, we could create a struct for cooldowns. Yeah, this would be a good scenario for gameplay ability system again. This would be we're continually finding scenarios where I'm like, you know, I actually do think I know what we could do for gameplay ability system here. The nice thing is though you can have linked less efficient than linked asset state. Add a state linked asset. Linked asset. Yeah, see, that's cool. So this would be a good way of cleaning up the code, and it seems like it seems like this would be a good way to have your state tree not get super out of hand. You know what I mean? So like, for example, if what we did with Suit for Hire is we had an idle state that would contain like patrolling and stuff, and all of the enemies would keep that same behavior tree. The only problem is like that would run 24/7 even if like the enemy is not aggroed anymore. I try to, you know, circumvent that a little bit, but still there's like a base cost with running a behavior tree or having a behavior tree within a behavior tree. I like the idea of a linked asset. It seems like this would not tick or run if it's not in this condition, which is great. That's very cool. So like that would be our way of creating like reusable systems across all of our AI, I guess, if that makes sense. Yep, it seems like our character is going to have a cooldowns map. Yeah, well, it do be that way. So we'll do a... Comparing two names is much faster than comparing two strings. Yeah, so it's a name with a map, and this other value is going to be a float, and then that will be our cooldowns. And then we need to make a condition. And this will be an STC cooldown condition. And receive test condition was what I saw the function being used. Okay. So we're going to want a variable. This is going to be character ref, and then the what was this category? I think was context, and then the context is going to be the base enemy character. Let's double check and make sure that that's actually being hooked up in the state tree. So we're going to do an enter condition, and I'm assuming that would be STC cooldown. We have actor, which is the context actor. Yes! Yes! This shit's so good, man. That's so sick. That's so sick. Which system is more reliable, behavior trees or state trees? I don't know yet. Behavior trees felt like a bit of a pain in the ass to debug and whatnot. The cool thing that you can do with, like, I don't know, state trees are cool. I think they're both cool in their own ways. I'm finding myself leaning towards state trees even though I'm so early into it, because there's just like, this is already really cool. The asset is always keeping in mind the actor that is running on, which means you can always bind things to it. And then it has an entire system. You literally just set it into a category called context, and it's going to automatically attach itself to your character, like your base character, the actor that you specify here. That's sick. And you can do the same thing with the AI controller. So there's a lot of really cool stuff in here from a usability standpoint. You know what I mean? So we have cooldown name. This will be public. I'm wondering if I should make the switch. I would say just watch a bunch of videos and see if it fits for you. I think that's the biggest thing. Does it look a bit confusing to learn, but I guess everything is. At first, I was confused as well, but then as you get into it, you're like, oh shit, you know, that makes sense. It's like, oh shit. There's just a lot. There's a lot of stuff in here. So, but I gotta say, I am preferring it over. I am preferring it over behavior tree right now. Behavior tree, I think as you scale up, it just gets really just out of hand. And it makes me just want to use Blueprint for all of my AI behavior. This is, honestly, there's so many things that are just comparable to behavior tree here. Okay, so if cooldown, so we got our cooldown name and our cooldown time. Let's do cooldown name will be attack, and there's a 3-second delay before they can attack. So here, what we're going to do is we need to read off of our characters' cooldowns. So what we could do is we get our character ref, which is already assigned, because it's fucking sick. It's so sick! And then we're going to read our cooldowns. Wait, what? Get key value by index. No, man. Find. That's what it was. It was find. So we're going to find a cooldown. If it does not... Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm pushing a lot of buttons. It's going to find if this exists. If it's false, then we're going to add to the cooldowns. We're going to add an input. With the cooldown name. And then that's going to be our get game time in seconds. This is going to be game time in seconds plus the cooldown time. So we're basically keeping track of like when the next time the enemy can attack or do a certain action or whatever. In this case, it's attacking, but it could be used for anything, right? That's why I think that tutorial followed having a map rather than just a singular variable. So then that way you can have multiple cooldowns. So we add the cooldown, but this means that we can just go through and allow the condition to go through. Now we just added the cooldown. The next thing is, okay, if we find one, we want to check if the time is less than, I want to check if our game time is less than the cooldown time. If you add, if something already used the provide key will be overwritten. Okay, cool. So what we could do here is we could say, hey, if the game time in seconds is less than the cooldown time, if that's true, then we'll go through and allow the attack to go through, basically. Gameplay ability system would probably make this a lot easier because if we could just read from a gameplay tag, or I think we could read from the gameplay tag. I don't know if we can within State Tree. I would assume yes. There's no way they would make this entire system and not make it work with gas. If false, then that means we are currently on cooldown, which means this is unsuccessful. So I think this should work. Let's give it a cooldown of 5 seconds. Guys. TikTok is so whack. I got like 10K views and like 5 wish lists from it. The conversion rate on TikTok is horrendous, but I wouldn't view it that way, right? So it's like, I think it's about, TikTok is about like getting that outreach and then it spreads, you know? You know, it's about getting that, it's that little spark and then it is spread from there. So wait, hold on. Is this receive condition, like, am I doing this shit correctly? I would assume it has to be true. Icon name. That's cool. Twitter seems impossible, but YouTube and TikTok going decent, I guess. Should probably make a long form video. I would say just do whatever is comfortable for you. I think that's the best. The best marketing is whatever's comfortable for you. I think that's the best marketing at the end of the day. Okay, hold on. How does this condition work? Does that find ever get invoked? I wonder if breakpoints work in this. I would assume it does. Let's see. When an enemy is ready to go for an attack, it should breakpoint. So it's going to start out as false. But now it's true. It has a value of 7 seconds. Our game time is showing 0 seconds. Continue the execution. Okay, this is 4 seconds. 7 seconds. You know what I think it is? Game time has to be over the amount of the cooldown timer. That's the problem. I think, there we go. Okay. So now he's going to walk up, but he's not going to attack until... Yeah, there we go. Okay, now he has a cooldown. I think that's already a really big improvement already on its own. Just that one basic attack cooldown change up. We do need to make it so they're not like stupidly just walking towards us though. I think that should be changed. I think that should be changed. The thing is, you also don't need to like necessarily talk in a devlog entirely, right? You have the escape from, sorry, not escape from, the Road to Vostok dev only has like a lot of his devlogs are just focused on like what is the progress of the game. Like it really is old-fashioned great devlog where it's like it's focusing on the game, not like comedy and shit like that, right? And so he only has like a segment where he has on microphone, and the rest is like gameplay and stuff. I think it depends on the style of game that you're making. I think Road to Vostok makes sense because it's like a survival game. It's a bit more dramatic in some respects. Puts like music on top of it and whatnot. That's like kind of ambient and whatnot. So I guess it just depends on your game as well. All right. The cooldown works, which is great. Fantastic. That's a good start. I think the next thing would be upgrading the move to system. Yep, I believe that would be the next piece of the puzzle. Yes. I don't really know. Probably be best if I just did gameplay and talk over for the style of game. Yeah, I just do whatever is comfortable for you. That's honestly my opinion. Do what you want to do. It's interesting. So the move to... I'm fixating on something stupid, but, you know. I see icons here, but what is the question mark in regards to? The state selection is guarded with enter conditions. Interesting, interesting. I see. Try select children order? Wouldn't it be try enter? But I think it's defaulted to changing that. See, they're all just trying to go in front of me, whereas I feel like they should go to a spot in front of me. And I think I do want to start using EQS in this project. Okay. How can we simply change up the movement system? Should the cooldown be canceled if they take damage? Could be a factor to look into for sure. I just think right now the biggest thing is I just wanted a cooldown kind of thing, just because they would constantly just keep attacking. Yeah, if we have a big group of enemies. See, this was a big learning process while working on Suit for Hire. So I really want to see, like, how can we improve the, like, spacing system and whatnot when attacking enemies in this game. That's, like, a huge thing for me, too, for this one. Like, we could make it really stupid and just use, what's it called? There's like a built-in thing for like avoidance, but that's not enough to like space out the enemies. So they're not like clumping up and whatnot. Where is that? Avoidance? Yeah, RVO avoidance. There we go. But I just don't think that's enough of a way to kind of separate them a little bit. In fact, I don't even know if that's working right now. Is RVO doing anything? I love how it says the default value is 0.5, but the default value is actually 0. I love how you say no strafing in the move, and then they end up strafing probably because like the RVO avoidance ends up making them strafing around. I don't like RVO. I really don't. I dislike it. Ah. I think if we want them to move into a different position, we're going to have to make it so they can strafe, now that I think about it. Let's see, allow strafing. Yeah, getting the attack, like the enemies attacking in a way that feels good. It's going to be an interesting challenge. I think we are going to have to put in yet another system where we keep track of which enemy has attack prio. How did Doom do their AI? Now that I think about it. I know it's mostly a shooting game, but Doom AI. Let's see. 5 years ago. I swear there's a... AI behavior. The amount of bullshit garbage I'm being recommended for searching up Doom AI. Oh no. Oh god. Let's see. Da, da, da. Hmm. Need a new word for AI in games? Most of the enemies, though, I feel like are ranged enemies, though, right? So how do we deal with... What's a game that has really good melee combat? God of War had pretty good God of War combat. GDC. I swear there's like a GDC talk where they talk about how they space out the enemies and whatnot. Yeah, they did like a whole on-screen system as well. Yeah. Okay, so they have non-aggressive enemies and aggressive enemies. Yeah, which is probably the direction that we'd want to go with here. So are they technically on a grid? So they're kind of doing like an EQS system almost. Is this also Schedule 1? What the hell? Yeah, I think we're gonna have to figure out some sort of EQS system. But how do we make it so we keep track of all of the enemies so they don't overlap each other? I wonder what would be... Yes. Enemy off-screen indicators. Yeah. Even though this is in third person, I feel like we have to think about this in first person even more so. Right, so they're automatically moving the view a little bit. Listen, man, if you're not moving your mouse around, I don't know what to fucking tell you. I don't know. I don't know. I guess for controller, maybe we slightly move the camera direction. Okay, let's get started with some EQS then. To determine move location. I guess that's the way that we can figure it out. Determine move location. But then I wonder, okay, how do we determine which enemies are aggressive and which ones are not aggressive? Yeah, I gotta change that enum. I gotta change that stuff. That was Randy's enum when he was when we worked on this prototype. Hey, it's a good name. It's a good name. Aggro depends on which enemies had coffee this morning and which one didn't. Survival of the fittest, I see. I think the player character is going to have to be the manager again. Because how else are we going to check, like, how many enemies are on the player character? Well, okay, let's just get EQS working first. If I can remember off the top of my head how to get this going again. I don't even know if it's enabled. It is. Wait, where is EQS? Is it not under artificial intelligence? Oh, environment inquiry. EQS find move to location. Points in a circle. Okay, space between 50. If I remember correctly, we need the courier, which means we need a blueprint, query, environment query context. This would be the player character. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Hold on, I gotta watch a video on, or not EQS, EQS. I swear there's like a very simple document that shows how to get started with it. I just gotta remember how this shit works again. Query context, single actor, player character. Okay, I was on the right path. Oh, dude, Balatro. Oh, dude. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. So player character will be the context. Generate items on a circle around the player character. Right click to add tests. Hmm. Circle radius. Let's try 200. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So let's see, how do we... run environment query. This would happen prior to moving. What I wonder, though, is we'd be running this query constantly for every move to operation. What I wonder, is that expensive? Does EQS cache some of this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't mind trying to somehow cache all of this. That'd be cool. You know what I mean? Okay, I just want to see if the EQS is even running. For EQS. I think we need to put that there. There we go. So now they should... Can I not have multiple events in one thing? Do I have to oh shit, result of the query, if an array is binded, it will output all of the created values, otherwise it will output the best one. And then I would assume this would set the value. I'm assuming that would set the value. Okay, what I'm confused about though is how do I run the EQS query and then... Does this have to be a separate task? I think this has to be a separate task. Task, run environment query. This would be find move to location, and then add a transition on state completed, move to target player. Okay. Result on task is expected to have a binding. Go ahead and create a parameter. We'll rename it to desired move to location. And then that should work, right? So the result will set that. That's cool. What? So now I should be able to, okay. It is not reading from the player character. As you guys can see, it is not reading the player character. That's because I forgot. No, I did. I put the thing in the thing. Circle center player character. Okay, hold on. I want to see why my circle is not generating where I want it to. Generate items on a circle around player character. Okay, so why is it not... Interesting. Should be able to breakpoint that? I guess it's not regenerating it. Right? Is that the problem, is not regenerating it? Oh, I see. Roots to test to move to. Okay. So, can anyone tell me, is this EQS, let's test something. Right now, we have target actor being the target actor. Let's remove the binding and instead set the destination to parameters, desired move to location. Let's see if that's see if that's updating. Attack goes to wait, wait goes to parent. Parent, I would assume, what is the parent? Root goes to test. And then run EQS. Hmm. So they're not running the EQS. Or it's not like resetting it. I don't understand. How do we get this, how do we get this to keep running? Spent today updating my resume and updating my LinkedIn and all that stuff. It's looking nice and clean. Oh God, job searching. You're giving me PTSD. Oh. Oh God. I know. State Tree EQS. Hold on, let's watch this video. I pray that I can delete LinkedIn someday. Worst site ever. I deleted my LinkedIn a long time ago. Where can I send this resume? To God Mode Interactive so you can go into debt hiring me? We don't hire employees. Wait. Wait, what? EQS testing pawn. Is that just for testing? Well, hold on. That's kind of cool. Wait, hold on. Hold a second. Oh. EQS testing pawn. How is he previewing that? With navigation turned on? Is he simulating? No, he's not simulating. The shit. Okay, he made a test pawn. I guess he gave it a skeletal mesh. Arms. It's my guy. This is my guy. Okay. 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 Mm-hmm. Oh, is it looking for the player pawn? Oh. Or you might be right. You know what? It might not be able to read from player character. Generate around query. Ah, comprende. Comprende, yes. Path exists from query batch. Okay, I already did this. Oh, I see what he's doing. Oh, I see. Wait. Wait. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Well, he's doing the grid, where I'll probably be doing a grid. Right now I'm doing a circle just to test, but honestly I could just do a grid. Did you see the RuneScape 3 microtransaction poll? Wait, hold on. Excuse me? What is he doing? He's running a behavior tree that runs... He's running a behavior tree that runs the state tree? Did I just see that right? Or is that just him just showing a preview of how it would work? He's actually running the EQS query within... Okay, interesting. Okay, I don't care about that stuff. I just want to see how the hell is... How the hell do you keep the... How do you keep the EQS running? Because... It's not. Okay. So... Okay, so... Okay, so... Okay, so, I don't know, 300? Maybe we need tests, which is the missing piece of the puzzle. AI controller 2. What the hell are you saying? Get him out of here. Oh. It's just doing one query. Why is it... Our player character is a character, right? Yeah. I shouldn't have to answer that question in my brain. I think it has to do with something here in the run EQS. I guess selection behavior will be try enter. I don't know where. What the hell is going on? Let me try doing that. Wait. Wait, hold on. I see it. I see it. I see the problem. Let me read up on EQS. Hold on, real quick. Collect data from the environment, from behavior tree and use to make decisions. Behavior generators, contexts. So my question is, the enemies currently all run their own EQS, or like my question is, do they all run their own EQS? Queries 1. Or do they like does it get cached? Or should I run EQS from the player character and they read the data from that, if that makes sense? What happened to the other game? Is it released? Yes, Suit for Hire is 1.0. Yeah, I know I can debug the state tree. I just want to see. Yeah, so the weird thing about using a move to operation with an EQS. Okay, hold on, let's do this. So a global task would be run environment query. This would be find move location. So then this would run constantly, I'm assuming. Let's see. What the hell? How does a global task work? That is one thing I am confused about. How the hell is what is a global task? Or is there like some sort of parallel state? Because I was thinking global task would be a parallel state. Yeah, my only concern with like with EQS right now is just how expensive it might be, and also trying to figure out like how do we make it so enemies read from each other's EQS, if that makes sense. That's another concern of mine. I wonder, can you add a state that runs in parallel? Ooh. Linked subtree. Every time I hit Control Z, it like moves me into a different area. Okay. Today is yet another learning day. Yeah, I don't know how to run a task constantly. I don't think global task is the thing that we're looking for. I wanna just test this. So instead of it being a state, linked. Linked is interesting. Subtree, linked. So if I have linked and then I add a child state to that, how does a subtree work? Let's see. What? I swear I thought I had the state tree. Where is the state tree subtree? State tree subtree. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Subtree, a state that can be linked from a linked state, may have tasks, child states, conditions, and transitions. Am I gonna have to make my own move to command? Is that what I have to do? I don't understand. I am of confuse. Because I think the move to needs to constantly run. Let's do this. Run environment query. Move to location. Sets desired move to location. I don't know if that's going to run on tick. I would assume maybe it doesn't. Let's see if that works, just because I want to see. It's weird. I don't see the EQS. Yeah, we need them. Is EQS for movement a good idea? I'm starting to think, like, because we have to run this constantly. I don't know if that's a viable, like, thing to do. Like, I don't know how I don't know how EQS runs. That's what I'm curious. Is it? It says it's asynchronous, which I guess is good. Task runs an asynchronous environment query and outputs the result to an outside parameter. Yeah, this almost needs to be constantly run because I don't know how to constantly run this. I don't know how to constantly run it. Okay. It's really annoying because now every time I hit to EQS to try to debug the EQS, I don't see it. Oh, there we go. Now I'm seeing it. Yeah, but we need this running constantly because the player character is moving constantly. And I don't know how expensive that is. Would we run, can we run EQS constantly on the player character? And then can the... I want to see something. Get EQS results as locations. Maybe this is the way to go. We constantly run the EQS we run it constantly on the player character, and then that means we only need to run it on the player character, and then when the enemies want to read from it, they'll just read from our constant results, and then that would result in kind of this God of War structure where it will constantly update itself. Is that a good way of going about it? I don't know if it is. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't understand. How about you understand this? All right, listen here, motherfucker. Redeems 5 push-ups. I don't know how many that was. I'm going to assume it's 5. It's 5. In my head, it's 5. Okay, it's 5. All right, it's 5. Go away. Yeah, how should I approach this? I don't want all of the enemies to run the EQS themselves. Oh yeah, they are using a token system. You see that? They are using an attack token system. We're gonna have to make a token system again. Ballsack. We got a lot to do. All right, for now, just remove the EQS. But that's gonna have to be the next piece of the puzzle. Why is it every time I control Z, it just does that? I'm kind of confused. We have the target actor. Oh, no, it has to be target player. No. Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking that. Okay, so now our move to should be working again. Brr. All right. You know, another thing that's kind of difficult is our character can move so quickly that it's so difficult to like do. It's difficult to do a combat system taking inspiration from something like God of War, for example, because your player character can run so fast. The character being able to run so fast is almost counterintuitive to like everything. You know what? Change the dash distance, the default dash distance. The default dash distance. What is the dash distance? It's 200. Let's do 135. Okay, 150. 150. 160. 160. Okay, 160. That's the one. So we reduced it by 40 units. We also got to give some blocking animations and some cool parry animations. I think that'll go really far as well. I think that'll go really far. Okay. Getting this AI to work is going to be a interesting challenge. I think we're going to have to make a token system again, though. I think we're going to have to make a token system. Yeah. Wait, how do they solve that? Oh, interesting. Dude, I love their, I gotta say, something that's really satisfying is seeing their like debug, like the debug stuff. It's so interesting seeing the debug stuff. Interesting. So every attack drags the enemy back into the screen. That's kind of cool. That's very cool. Very, very interesting. Ugh. We didn't do much today, but we learned quite a few things, so I'll take it. Well, we actually got... Well, we got the basics for the parry down. We changed up our stamina system. Which, you know, things that needed to get done. Parry kind of stagger the next attack. I don't know exactly what result the parry will have yet. All I know is I have it set up so that it's a different event that occurs. If you block, I think it's 0.3 seconds before getting hit right now. And it just doesn't reduce the stamina or anything like that. I think we'll do a bunch of stuff though where it's like it might stagger their attack or whatever. We'll see what we end up doing. I don't know yet. We'll have to figure it out. Two parry windows, perfect and not perfect. Currently we have parry and block. Those are our current windows. So block is just a regular block, but it reduces your stamina. And as time goes on, that might like, the value might be a little bit larger. If you right click at the perfect time, doesn't remove stamina. And in the future, we'll do like a bunch of other stuff though. And I think even strong attacks will probably stagger enemies. I think like ideally that would probably make a lot of sense. We just don't have like any animations for that yet. And then the stronger enemies are, the harder it'll be to stagger them. I think that makes sense. And then what we could do is have that back and forth combat system, but in a PvE sense, with like parrying and blocking. And it's like the more parries you do in a row, you might like stagger like stronger enemies. I think that'll be cool. So playing around that might be really cool for like the dueling sense of it. And I think that will be kind of the cool element there. I think that might be where our combat, like where the meat lies. I don't want to say the sauce. Where the meat of the game lies is in the like the dueling sense. I think. I don't know. Okay, we gotta fix that. When you hit the ground, it like interferes with it, which is really bad. All right. I'm gonna go for today. Bit of a slow stream, just mostly like figuring out, okay, what are like the next steps? We got the stamina fixed-ish. Well, it's changed to complement more of our up-to-date system. Really basic parry. I think, yeah, the big thing right now is just the enemies. I think the enemies are ultimately our big ticket thing of figuring out how the enemies... Great. We're gonna have to work on a token system. Oh, great. Similar thing to what we did with Suit for Hire. We need an attack token system that decides which enemies are like, you know, going in for an attack, or which are aggressive, and then which ones are on like standby. Yeah. We might even go further with that. Maybe it's like... Yeah, we'll see how we end up doing that. We also need to bring back ranged enemies. Right now, we've just been focusing on melee. We need to bring back the ranged enemies. Because that can also figure out like our enemy attack flow and whatnot. I also think some animations for the parry and the block would be really satisfying to get that out of the way as well. Yeah. Yeah. And then I want to figure out the staggering if we can. That would be kind of fun. Is like enemies like starting to almost trip. I think. Like imagine as you keep kicking an enemy, they like start like falling over and shit. I think that could be a fun element. And then like at some point they fully fall over, like when you do a strong attack and whatnot. So that's something I'd like to figure out. Yeah. You know, Victory Hub. What are we building? It's like a first-person action game thing. Roguelite. I don't really know 100% yet. We're figuring it out as we go. But I am gonna hop out. Bit of a slow day. My brain is getting fucking fried. I think I'm going to try to make those animations for the parry and the block, and that'll be good. I also, I am getting overwhelmed. I'm going to be honest. I'm getting overwhelmed by keeping a huge task list like this. So I might even get a Trello going because it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with this right now. Enemy token system. Yeah. It's getting overwhelming. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to do a bunch of work right now. I feel like getting a bunch done. I've been doing a lot of like research, trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to do this new movement EQS system? But I think we need a token system. Yeah. Yeah. Any idea when the suit patch is going out? I think I'm going to try to get that out today. Because like, honestly, the The beta branch is, I think, pretty safe. Like, I don't think there's any like major issues with it. So honestly, I could probably just get it out. I think I'm gonna try to do that today because I've been putting that off. I really don't think the beta has like any glaring issues. Any like big glaring issues. So honestly, I think we'll just shift it over. I literally just need to put out a new build because I changed the version number. Instead of it being v1.1, it's v 1.0.15. Just because I don't want any players thinking it's a huge, massive content update. And I think putting v1.1 might be, they might think, oh, content! And it's like, not an enormous, there's no like new levels or anything like that. Anyways. I might try to get that out of the way today too, because that is something that's been on my mind. All right. Yeah, I also need to bring out the health system and get that with the new one. I got to do that too.
All right. I'll see you guys
tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks for dropping by. Didn't get too much done today, but hey, when trying to figure out stuff, it takes me a bit. I'm slow. Anyways, yeah. Goodbye. See you guys later. Thanks for dropping by.